This is a short one like me. Dudes with Brews on the Porch presents Michael Brews.
Dude. Joining with us today is an actor, a model, motorcycle enthusiast. We have Cody Renee Cameron on the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. I was pretty pumped to talk to you because when I saw that you were in Bad Dads, I was like, well, this is a movie I've been wanting to watch, and now I have even more of a reason to do it. How's that going with everything?
Heck yeah. Old Dads with Bill Burr.
Old Dads. Sorry. I said Bad Dads.
I was like, wait, what's this movie?
No, Bad Dads. My bad.
I do love Bad Moms with, Bad Moms is great. Old Dads, but
Right.
yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Bill Burr is just the sweetest, such a talented human being, and it was really awesome to be in the presence of like comedy royal, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to see the trailer of it when I saw Bill Burr. He performed in Madison a while ago, and he aired the trailer, and I was pretty excited about it. Didn't know what to expect, but it's actually it's a really, really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I heard that I was in the trailer that they use at those premieres or
Okay.
at the comedy shows. At the very end, and then I say like, "You're gonna make a great dad" or whatever. But
Right.
then when the trailer came to Netflix, they like took that part out, and I was like, "Oh no!" But I actually had people from across the United States while he was on tour be like, "Hey, I just saw you in this Bill Burr trailer at the show." So that was like such a treat because I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then it's got to pump you up a little bit, get you a little more excited for the movie. So you are a big motorcycle person.
Yes.
I'm in Wisconsin. I'm not too far away from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is kind of like the home of Harley Davidson. Have you ever been able to make it out there?
No, this year they did the 120th anniversary, and I had so many friends go, and we were just busy. But they do an anniversary party like every 5 years, I think. So next one, I'm gonna go.
I think they're actually they're doing like a music festival every year now. I think that's going to be a thing because it was such a big success last year that they're going to continue to do it. I think they just announced the lineup and like the Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing or something like that. So it'd be
Okay.
cool to get out there. I don't know if you've ever been to Wisconsin. Lots of beer, lots of motorcycles, and lots of cheese. So it's a beautiful place.
I love all of those things. I'm from Illinois, so yeah,
Okay.
I've been to like all the surrounding states.
Yeah, Illinois. We have a good relationship with Illinois. Love hate sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But that's all right. One question that we like to ask people, and there's no wrong answer, so no pressure here. But what do you think the most important ingredient to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is? It's kind of a philosophical debate between me and some other people.
The most important ingredient. I mean, I feel like you're asking me a trick question, and it should be bread. But if it's like, do I like the peanut butter better or the jelly better?
Just what's more important? I mean, what makes it the sandwich? I guess bread is always the go-to answer. I disagree. It's not bread. I say peanut butter, but I've been almost swayed for jelly.
No, I agree with you. I think it's peanut butter.
Excellent.
Because also, like, I could eat a peanut butter sandwich by itself, but I couldn't eat a jelly sandwich by itself.
That's a fair point. I like that. All right. So give us a little bit of your background. So you said from the Illinois area. You started with modeling, and kind of how do you get into acting? How do you get into riding Route 66?
Yeah, so I'm from Illinois, went to college at the University of Illinois. Didn't know you could go to school for acting because I would have done that. But, in the Midwest, we're not taught like, hey, you can make a living in the
Right.
arts. Relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I graduated and I moved out to LA. I just packed everything into my car, typed LA into my GPS, and drove out here. And I just booked jobs off Craigslist because that was the only way I knew how to get work because I didn't know anybody out here. And then eventually got into an acting class, and that's where I really feel like my career started to happen because people started to take notice. I got a manager, and then I booked a job, and then I got an agent, and then it was kind of off to the races from there. But there was a lot of stuff that happened in the middle, like doing weird fetish videos in guys' basements and, bartending. And I think I've had every odd gig job under the sun. So it's like been very hard earned, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to ask, on Craigslist, a lot of good things can come off Craigslist, but a lot of unusual and maybe some sketchy situations could also arise. I was wondering if you ever
Yeah.
encountered that.
Yeah, so the coolest job I ever booked was I booked an Adult Swim commercial,
Nice.
and that was like super legit, paid great, it was awesome. And then, yeah, I think one of the weirdest ones would be like doing a werewolf pie fetish video. And
Hmm.
like in pie fetish, you have to get like hit with like 20 pies. It's not just like one pie. That's like part of it. And so, and then when they book you, they usually want to shoot 2 videos. So you have to like shower and then fully get ready again and then
Oh,
get
wow.
pied again. So I usually cry after the second round of pies.
Yeah, I would. Unique situation. I don't know that a lot of people can tell that story, but that's hey, that's whatever. You do what you got to do sometimes to get a buck.
Yeah. Yeah. But getting chocolate pudding, which is like for the pie, out of your
Oh
hair
yeah.
is a lot harder than you would think.
I have a 1-year-old, so I mean I've never been hit with like the equivalent of 40 pies, but I've lots of stuff has gotten chucked in my face and all over my hair. So relatable in a different way, I guess. Um,
Totally.
so what's it like bouncing back between gigs? Acting when I guess on the ground surface, everyone's like acting's great. People always are chasing this dream, but there is a stressful side to it too, and it's kind of like first starting out, getting paid jobs. Once that's done, you're theoretically unemployed. So what's your process like between that? How do you? It would be a struggle for me to think about that all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. You have to be really good at compartmentalizing or you'll lose your mind. But before COVID, I would, bartend at night, and then I would wake up super early and usually go do some sort of like production job. Like I was like second ADing a big show or whatever. And then, then if you got an audition, you'd have to like try to take off time from that job, or like during your bartending job, you're over here studying,
Hmm.
and it's pretty wild. Now I don't have to bartend, thankfully, but I'm producing my own motorcycle adventure show. And like
Nice.
tomorrow we're riding up to Palm Springs, and I've hired like a cast and crew to come with me. And, but then my manager sends me a 7-page audition today that's due on Saturday. So it's
Okay.
like, you just like, okay, well, I guess when we're having our team meeting, I'm gonna like take 30 minutes and study, and then I'm gonna have to grab one of them to help me film these 3 scenes. And it's a really like privileged place to be because now
Hmm.
I have so many jobs. But yeah, it's also just like it's mentally a disaster. Like we're always just doing mental gymnastics to like make things work.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, it's worth it, but at the same time, yeah, definitely a struggle.
Well, is it worth it?
I don't
Anytime
know.
someone asks me, like, what's your best piece of advice for aspiring actors that like want to move to LA? And I'm just like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well,
I'm so glad that I did it and I'm here in the trenches, but holy cow, if there's something else that you would potentially want to do, like go do that thing. I don't have that other thing. Like this is what I want to be doing.
right. Yeah, my co-host who isn't on here today, Rob, he actually moved to LA. I think it's been like almost 2 years now. He moved out to go pursue writing. He's doing maintenance at a apartment complex, but he's out in Burbank right now, and um, he's met some cool people. But yeah, he's in it, and
Yeah.
it's an interesting perspective. I mean, I'm married, 3 kids, full time. I'm a teacher, and then
Aw.
part time I'm on like radio and stuff like that. So like it's just a different world, and I'm in a small city in Wisconsin. So people hear my voice and they're like, "Oh, you're that douche I hear on air sometimes." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." So it's a different world, but I still have those big dreams of like I want to be the next Casey Kasem or something like that. So
Yeah. You're a big fish in a small pond though.
maybe I don't think so, but you never know. But
I'm just out here like flopping around, little flounder. Like,
Dad, you're doing awesome. You were in El Camino. You were in the Breaking Bad universe, one of the greatest television series of all time. So I would be pretty pumped to have that on my resume.
Thank you. I do. Yeah. I mean, that one to be in Breaking Bad and then Mayans, so the Sons of Anarchy
Right.
world is just when I am feeling down, I just remember those two things and I'm like, okay. And then also Easy Riders magazine, which is like just the coolest motorcycle magazine you could be in. So I like to pump myself up with those three credits if I'm feeling down.
Yeah. Did you watch Breaking Bad before you auditioned for El Camino?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. I'm not sure when I discovered Breaking Bad, but obviously, like, yeah, binged the whole thing and just
Mhm.
it was so unique. Like, it was the first of its kind. And just the acting is so incredible. I'm just, yeah, huge fan. And then, when we got that audition, it had a code name and nobody knew that well, I don't know. Maybe people knew. I didn't know what I was auditioning for. And it wasn't until we were actually like on the plane going to New Mexico that it leaked that there was going to be a Breaking Bad movie. And my manager texted me. He's like, "Holy shit, you're in the Breaking Bad movie!" And I was like, "No way! What? That's crazy."
That's awesome. Does that happen a lot? Like code words, so you never really always know what it is?
I would say code words happen a lot, yes, but usually the people doing the project know what it is.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, this was just a unique situation where I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, I was a big fan of it, and it's just the idea of watching this dude turn from your next door neighbor to the guy who's about to like fucking kill everybody is pretty sweet. And you still cheer for him at the end. I love Walter White. He's my hero. Not really, but you know.
For sure, for sure.
So I guess what is your process like with like auditioning? Do you have people reach out to you and say, I think you would fit this part? Is there will you audition for, kind of give every genre a try, or is there specific types of shows or movies that you would prefer to be in?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was definitely like, I will do anything. Like, what do you want me to do? I will dance on the table right now. And that attitude, I think, gets you, well, I mean, it works for me, and I think that gets you very far. That's not the technique that everyone has. And now that I am kind of at this like certain level, it is like we're starting to turn stuff down, which is so hard for me because I
Yeah.
feel like I have that Midwest work ethic where I'm like, I want to say yes to everything. And so to say no to things, but there's kind of this idea, right, that you have to like say no to certain things so that you can make space for the new things to come in and the bigger things or whatever. So yeah, kind of battling with that right now. But trying to trust the guidance of people that have come before me. So like agent, manager, and other actors and kind of their stories. I'm listening to Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey on
Okay.
Audible right now. Normally I'm a reader, not a listener, but he actually narrates the book himself, so it's kind of cool. And he talks about how he started turning down these rom-com offers that he was getting because he wanted to do serious drama and no one would give him the chance, no one would take him seriously. And he's turning down like, I don't know, like $40 million movies. And I'm over here like, I don't know. I don't think I can take that $400 job. So it's so interesting to compare things on different levels, but see that the attitude and the mindset is the same, right? Like I want to manifest something different, so I have to stop doing this other thing. So yeah, it's kind of in an interesting place. Also coming off of the strike, which was coming off of COVID, so there wasn't a
Right.
lot of work anyway. So there is kind of this little bit of desperation in Hollywood of everybody just like wants to be working, and people are trying to get projects made for as cheap as possible. And yeah, it's kind of a weird place to be right now. But that's why I'm so grateful that I have this own show that I'm producing because I have full creative control and full power over it, and that's very empowering. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So this show that you're producing, it's in the world of motorcycles, and kind of what's the like, synopsis of it?
yeah, so it's called Iron Pony, and the first season, which I planned during the strike, kind of had this idea.
Mm.
I rode my motorcycle across Route 66 from LA to Chicago and filmed the whole thing. And each
Oh,
day
nice.
becomes an episode, so you kind of get to see what it's like to, where we were staying and where we were eating, and we interview small business owners and kind of highlight their stories. And yeah, and you get to know a little bit about my life, like I talk about my parents, and then we fly in photos of my parents and stuff. So it's kind of this just like to me, it's kind of this love letter to growing up and like Americana culture and motorcycles, and just the goal is kind of to get other people to get out there and travel, and also like, support local. So
It's awesome.
that was kind of it. And it was also a charity ride. So we ended up raising $7,000 for a dog rescue.
Oh, nice.
And my dog came on the trip, and we gave it to the rescue that he was from, Wagmore Pets. And his name is Chopper, so we called it Chopper's
Oh,
Charity.
nice.
And yeah, so that made a lot of sense to me. Because it was very like the start of the trip, the end of the trip, and that's the show. But now I want the show to keep going.
Mhm.
So we're kind of figuring out the next move. And right now it's like we're gonna mix in like how-to videos, like how to change your brake pads. It's so easy. It's under 30 minutes, but I think a lot of people get really intimidated by,
Mhm.
like, you think like, oh, motorcycles, and you have to know everything about them. But like, oh no, wait, if I can do it, trust me, you can do it. While still incorporating the travel part. So we're leaving for Palm Springs tomorrow, and then we're gonna go cover this event, which is like a chopper and hot rod show. So we're kind of just like mixing it up and seeing what hits and seeing what people want to see more of and stuff. But yeah, it's just the same thing, like cars, motorcycles, and traveling and just goofing off with your friends.
That's awesome. Good. Congrats. That's
Thank
killer.
you.
You mentioned the strike a little bit. My friend who was out in Burbank, and he's kind of talked to a couple of people during that time, and I was just always like curious, like, what's going on in the strikes? Is this movie going to happen? Is this going to happen? Just out of curiosity, what was your thought process behind it? And I know like a lot of, I follow a handful of stand-ups, and the comedians are like, well, I can still do stand-up shows, just can't do the acting stuff. Did you dive into that world as well, or what did you have to do?
Um, well, that because of that time off, that's why I was able to do this cross country
Right.
trip and film it. So for me, I always try to take the things that seem like curses and make them into blessings. But it was hard, man, because I had just come off of doing 3 episodes for the Mayans. And Hollywood is very much like a snowball sort of industry where like you gain momentum and that keeps going. But once it is stopped, it is takes just as much like superpower to get it going again. And I
Mm,
feel like every time I get kind of a little bit of a push, the world shuts down with COVID, or the
yeah.
world shuts down with a strike. And I know it was, obviously I have so many friends in the industry, and I think it was actually the easiest on actors because we're used to having to work other jobs, right?
Sure.
Everyone's an actor and a bartender, an actor and a babysitter, whatever. But like when your whole job is like to be a Teamster driver, and then you have equipment on rental at the studios, what do you do for 8 months when you're not working?
Right.
I know so many people that really struggled, and that's such a bummer because again, it's like it was, the people at the top fighting over, like, to them what is pennies, but to us is like, oh, I don't know, health insurance.
Right.
And it sucks because like we didn't win, especially like stunt performers and dancers, and always the people that are like that have the most to lose, or like that are getting hurt the most are always the losers. So it was yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But
Yeah, and as you've done a fair share of stunts, and been a performer as well. So, I mean, that alone, I give you a lot of credit for, because I feel like my body would be absolutely destroyed if I tried to do anything like that. Is that something you continue to do, or is that if you can do it, you'll do it? But
I just turned 35, and I do feel like, when I was a young buck, unless I was just so fearless. And
mm,
I mean, I say that I just got lit on fire last week, which was
oh,
so fun, like full body burn, and we had my motorcycle in the back and stuff. But as far as like, oh, do I want to get like pushed down the stairs today? Like, maybe not really, like not as
right.
much.
Yeah, that's wild. I give you a lot of credit. You're doing the work. You're grinding it out, and it seems like everything's going pretty solid right now.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
mean, no complaints, no complaints. Just yeah, part of the other thing about making my own show is like as just an actor, you're waiting for the gatekeepers to open the door for you. And
mhm,
so like it can feel kind of powerless sometimes, right? You're like waiting for casting to pick you for the audition and send you to the directors and the producers, and you're waiting for them to give you a yes, and then after the movie's made, you're waiting for somebody to pick it up. You're waiting for distribution to give you a yes. And
right.
it's a lot of just like I've been in so many pilots that were like so promising of like, oh, this is the next thing. One, I was actually a dog walking, motorcycle riding stripper.
All right.
And I was like, this part was literally, well, they did make the part for me. Originally, she was just a stripper. And then they're like, oh, you ride motorcycles? And they're like, oh, actually, blah, 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 something with the dogs. But I was like, this is so brilliant, and was backed by some like really talented people who were already in the industry doing cool things. And yet like it's just been sitting on the shelves for like 8 years. So it's such like, it's so crazy here like that. But again, that's why so many artists are starting to make their own content, and thank goodness for iPhone footage being so good. You know, we have like these DJI mics that were, you know, these little mics that were 300
Yep.
bucks. And now all of a sudden we're making footage that when you put up on a big screen TV, it looks clear. It sounds great. You know, we understand lighting. So, yeah, we're really fortunate that social media has like been a platform for us to use.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you are you do you kind of use the world of YouTube a lot? Do you have your own channel or anything like that?
I was staying away for YouTube for so long because I knew how much work it was going to be, and as opposed to like short form content. Love
Mhm.
short form, like Instagram and then like TikTok. Okay, great. And also that's all filmed one way. Now all of a sudden, you know,
Right.
YouTube, you're flipping your camera and everything. And then with this motorcycle show, I wanted to be able to put it out somewhere, and YouTube was the way to go. And then now I've been hearing all this stuff about how like, I mean, kids these days, you like don't even watch TV anymore. You
Right.
know, it's only YouTube. And so it's like, if you don't adapt, like you're going to die. And
Hmm.
so I finally got on YouTube, and that's where our show is at right now. And then the idea is that we want to pitch that as a scissor reel to TV networks. But right now, you're able to view it on YouTube, and it's been really cool to kind of show that off to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, I'm 33. I sometimes struggle watching my television because, you and I were close to the same age. We've kind of grown up with technology. We've advanced with it, I guess. But so much I rely so much on my phone for all this other stuff, and including how I consume a lot of things. And usually, if the television it's on, and I'm watching a Packer game, which I can't do that anymore because they lost. Or
The
it's
Bears didn't even make it, so you did better than we
yeah,
did.
yeah, I know. We did beat the Bears to get in, which was beautiful, but that's a different story. Otherwise Elmo or Bluey's on my TV, and then
Oh wow.
yes, you ever watch Bluey?
I don't know that one,
Oh, it's
no.
an Australian cartoon with a blue healer. It's pretty good. Got some good
Oh,
adult
cute.
humor. So if you're ever with little kids, throw on Bluey if you can.
All right. I
Uh,
thought you were gonna say Peppa Pig. That's like the only one I know.
oh no, no Peppa Pig in here, but I'll never say never. Have you ever done like voiceover work or anything for like cartoons?
Let's see. I have a voiceover reel. What have I done with that? I did these weird like pickup videos that were animated when I
Okay.
first moved out here. That was another Craigslist job. Um and then yeah, I like dabbled in the voiceover world with auditions and stuff, and then it was kind of its own thing. You know, you
Right.
have to get your own agent for that, and it's just that was so much effort that I just wanted to keep focusing on like, TV and film acting, and then stunts was kind of my thing as opposed to getting more into voiceover. But I love voiceover. You just show up in your pajamas and have so much
Yeah.
respect. Oh, actually, I did the Playboy morning show for like 5 years. I was a guest on there probably once a week on average, and it was an hour show that was live, and they had it on like Sirius XM, and then they had like the Playboy channel, so you could
Mm,
watch it too. And so they'd always have like four Playboy girls come on. They'd have the two hosts, and then they'd have like a celebrity guest usually. And I got to meet so many cool people. Like Ty Dolla Sign came in really
nice.
early on. Like he signed headshots for us and gave them to us, and I was like, who are you? This is like 10 years ago. All sorts of amazing comedians, and then they would like play games with us, which was like one of them was, can a bunny make a funny? And
Sure.
the comedian would like try to coach us on like three jokes or something, and then we would like compete, or we'd try to like pop balloons, or I don't know. One time there was like a hot sauce licking contest, and we were blindfolded, and then you had to like they would put hot sauce on another girl's body and you would like lick it and rate how hot it was or guess which brand it was. And oh, it was like
Jeez.
so many funny things. But yeah, I had actually auditioned to be the host for that, and I was like their second pick. But
Awesome.
so yeah, mad respect for radio.
Yeah, I love radio, and I don't know what Playboy's doing now. Do they exist? They gotta exist, do they? I don't know.
I mean, I know that they have like sold their logo to everybody, right? Like PacSun has it, and I feel like, now it's
Sure.
just this weird kind of just name, but I don't know if they're doing magazines or content anymore. I don't know.
Kids these days will never know, the obstacles that so many young people had to go through to get their hands on a Playboy magazine. It's
For sure.
it's
For sure.
a lost art.
I remember finding my brother's, like, he had Maxims hidden under the
Oh,
bed.
sure.
And I remember like finding it was Christina Aguilera was on the cover when she had done like Bad or whatever, and
Mhm.
she was with those braids and the chaps,
Yes.
and maybe this is why I'm a biker. Maybe that magazine cover is why I am who I am today.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly what you're talking about because my mom's significant other had a subscription to Maxim, and I can almost trace back, to my youth of
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that. But interesting, yeah. It's a crazy world that we're in. But Cody, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Congrats on everything that's going on. How can people watch all the stuff that you got going on? So Old Dads, you got Mayans, El Camino, all that, and then Iron Pony. Where can they get this stuff?
Yeah. So pretty much all my social media handles are Hey It's Code E, HEYITSCODEE. And then our YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Iron Pony Show. And you have to put the @, otherwise YouTube will not show it to you for some weird reason. But yeah, those are our links. Or if you just Google my name, a bunch of stuff will pop up, which is Cody Renee Cameron.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for hopping on here, and best of luck on your trip and everything in the future.
Thank you so much.